Hello all, hope you're all able to see me. Thank you for being here on a Saturday evening, and it shows that your commitment that you wanted to learn this thing. Sorry, I might not sound good. I'm in a hotel room in Hyderabad and not at my usual studio. I come here for a corporate training. So, but this one and there, I am there and my one sec, one. I am and maybe okay. One sec. Let me see. Someone is telling me something, and echo is coming. Is echo coming? Okay. Is echo coming? Echo coming? Everything is okay? Is it coming? Maybe not. Okay. So if everything is okay, let me also check again. Is it? Maybe I opened somewhere else. Maybe it is okay now. Yeah. So okay. Thank you. Maybe the echo was coming earlier. Thank you, Abdul, for telling that echo is not coming. So why is this workshop? Why is this workshop held? And what we see, the thing is that for the first, I'm going to tell you what it takes to be a web app developer. What is a web app developer? What it takes to be a web app developer. Then for the next rest of the time, we'll say basics. Then we will touch upon CSS a bit, touch upon JavaScript, touch upon JavaScript because they take a lot of time to teach. And we have full-time courses on 5-day courses on a channel each on a channel JavaScript. So we have that thing, and then voice is not clear. Voice is not clear. Is the voice not? Is the voice not clear? Or, okay. I say like that only. The voice is clear. I say like you might be like think okay. Okay. So it is like that. Some network issue is happening. Some network issue happening. They're telling a lot of things. One sec. Some one sec. No, that is not it is enough. It is change the mic. This is not clear. Okay, let go this. This is the main thing I need to say. I'm in a hotel room and the clear is not. I'm not going to take the rest of the things. I'm only going to take for the half an hour. I will be joined by other TWD teachers who have a better network. They are in my studio, and my studio have a very big broadband. Okay, so they are in my studio at my hometown. So they are going to take the rest part of it. Like next, it will be your Mosam will take HTML, CSS, and the JavaScript part will be taken by Hari. So don't worry, you don't have to tolerate me, and I'm having that problem. Okay, so let me share my screen. Let me also now go with the laptop mic. Okay, so okay, maybe I'm okay now. Maybe one sec. Maybe this is much better. Okay, maybe this is much better. Is it much better? Okay, so bear with me, can't hear perfectly. Okay. Okay, I think this is much better. I have now speaking directly, so it might be much better. Okay, so that is good. Okay, so let me share my screen and let me tell about it. Means quickly we'll go through it, and then I'm going to tell you what it takes to be a web app developer, what are the process to be a web app developer, because there are a lot of things available in the internet everywhere. Okay, so you can go anywhere and learn those things, but what do you need to learn? All those things. Okay, so let me share my screen. So I'm sharing my screen. Let me show a tell a bit about myself, because most of you have not you don't know me. You are interacting with either Mosam, either Abdul, or either Hari on the WhatsApp channel. Most of you know WhatsApp coming from that WhatsApp channel. So don't know about me. My name is Nabindu Vishwas. I'm a web developer. I'm a React.js teacher, corporate trainer. Yeah, I do corporate training, and I'm in a 3-week corporate training, and I'm in Hyderabad right now. Then I go to Bangalore. I generally nowadays I have a busy schedule, but then also I run a YouTube channel. I run my own web development courses also, and I'm with other teachers from TW. So the TWD, and not always in the founder. So 16 years, I was 16 years. This is my LinkedIn profile. This is all about me. I have worked in almost all companies in the on the planet, Morgan, Oracle, architect, Bangalore. A product is coming in Bangalore. So now I'm going to Bangalore to some corporate training. So this is about me. So I have 16 years of experience. So I have been in the top of it. When I left the job to become a trainer, because that is what I love most. Love teaching more to people, because teaching is much more different. All those things like this. This is my last job, associate architect in 𝐏𝐚𝐫𝐭𝐢𝐜𝐚, a company. I worked in IBM. I have worked in Oracle. I have worked in almost everything. So I know what goes in the task in the tech world, what goes in the tech get a job, and we are successfully able to give job to all the people who are done my paid workshop. Besides this, we have a lot of people who had gone through our business and all. They've also got the jobs. So this is about me. I still am in connection with everyone, so I know what is required in the industry. A lot of people don't. A lot of people still. Some time back, someone was asking me on my channel, no, on my WhatsApp, that learn C now. C is not been used for the past 30 years. Why we are going to, what are you going to learn do with C? Someone was asking that PHP is not been used. Why your things are not used? The things which are used the most, to tell you about that. Okay. So one we are going to give the form 2 times. Attendance form, yeah. Those who are here, and all of you have certificate, but you have to fill the attendance form. So this is the attendance form which you have to fill, and we are going to give it 2 times. One at around 3:30 p.m. IST, and one at around maybe 5:30 to 6. I'm going to give an give it this. You have to like your name, and you have to fill your. If you don't have a LinkedIn profile, tell you I don't have a LinkedIn. Reason they're asking you for that. And then there is another thing. Okay, let me write it to another Google form, which I am going to give it in the later half. Okay, later half I'm going to give it. Okay, so these two needed to be filled to get the certificate. And what else? We company totally registered company. A company is registered in Bangalore. We government to the both the government, everything. So we have a fully registered company. We now our strength is around 5 people in TWD. So this is all about me. I am the founder and the main. So let me also take through what is required to be means first what development is required. So this is something known as a. I am showing you something like required to for web development nowadays. So for web development, you need to know HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. You need to know all these 3 things. Only these 3 things. Okay, you don't need to know something else. Like a lot of people ask, like C, C++, and all those things. All these things you don't need. You only need these 3 things: HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. And beside this, you need one more thing, which is known as a React.js. So these 4 things, only these 4 things will give you a job. I teach corporates on this. I teach freshers on this. I've taught in the past 1 year after becoming full-time trainer. I have taught more than 200 people on this technology, both on my personal batches and both for the corporates. The people who come out of colleges, they have been taught these 3 technologies only, because all the projects today, you don't like it. So there are no Python projects out there, okay, which is a lot of people. There are no data science projects out there. A lot of people with data science is there. No, nothing is there. This is JavaScript. You don't research. If there are no means real research, sometimes you cannot do this also. This is what is used. is library for JavaScript. This is so much in demand that it doesn't matter whether you are a housewife or you. It doesn't more jobs than there are people, because people are engineering students. They ask me whether we need C++. They don't know that C++ was used 20 years back. Your colleges is teaching you that thing altogether. Your colleges are 20 years back. So that is one thing which you need to know. And your colleges are 20 years back. If your colleges was not 20 years back, I would not have my job. I would be coding in my Bangalore company. I will be leading the team of 10 people. If your college would have taught you HTML, JavaScript, yeah, know that using the industry. That's all companies like Infosys. They also have this big camp, big six. They teach the engineering students for 6 months, and I'm an engineering student, but don't that okay. I'm engineering for computer science, and then no, because computer science engineering students don't know, but get a job. And the thing is that this is the time to get a job because of the startup ecosystem. I'm going to Bangalore. There is such a huge startup ecosystem. Every second building is a company. It doesn't matter to you. You learn the most in a startup, whether it's a person company, 2-person company, 3-person. You're getting your salary. You're getting the best knowledge out there. So and for startups, see, one thing I'm going to tell who are from non-IT background, who are mechanical engineers. A lot of mechanical engineers we have also helped developer. So if you're a mechanical engineer, if you're not even an engineer, if you get job, this is that I'm sure. Yeah, okay, you can get job startups and other. You can get a job in Microsoft. They doesn't for them not from a very no only this HTML script and React. Okay, so that is there. Maybe I will also come. Still, you people telling the voices there. And let me complete. The voice is breaking. I cannot do much because today I'm from a hotel room, so I cannot do much. And so that is there. And now the other thing is like what we need to do and why we were asking for LinkedIn profile and all. So what are the 3 secrets are there? Okay, so the 3 secrets to get a job in the IT industry, whether you're students, whether you're computer science engineering students, mechanical engineering students, or anyone else, you need to do these 3 things. Especially you're from a non-IT background, you need to do these 3 things. One is the networking you need to do. And so networking is what? Networking means you have to do networking on LinkedIn, Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook groups. Out of this in India, the most required thing is the LinkedIn. LinkedIn, why? LinkedIn is a professional network. Those who don't know, it's a professional network. It is not like anything else. Nowadays, you don't get a job in Naukri.com, you get a job in LinkedIn. But LinkedIn is not like a Naukri.com that you will go there and have a profile and you'll get a job. No, it is a combination of Naukri.com and Facebook.com. It's a combination of both of them. So what happens here, you have to build a network also. Network, like you have to have a very good portfolio, like you have your Naukri.com profile. You should have a very good profile like me. You should have a very good profile, a good pick, and all these things you should have. The next thing you should have a network. You should build connection. I have 21,825 connection. So for reaching till me, it will take some time. It took me 4 years to reach here. So it is like I am like a sort of influencer kind in LinkedIn, because LinkedIn has a cap of 30,000. So if I like something, if I add something, reaches 21 million people. So you also need to add people to your network, add people in a locality. If you are suppose I'm in is in Madhya Pradesh, small place in Madhya Pradesh, and I know the jobs IT are in Indore and Bhopal. So I'll ask from Indore and Bhopal in my network. And trust me, if you add someone, they will accept it. So you get around 50 per week. So you add them, you post them, all those things. So like there are like this Hari is there. Hari Mawsam is one of our teacher. Ankit is there. One of done. So they all have post here, a lot of post here, post in the like this. They do these projects. Then so okay, that is there. So this is what this is what you need to do. Abdul is there. He's telling that he got sort of a lot of followers, 5K followers. Yeah, he's our community manager. So he got that much. Okay, done, Ankit, and he always keep on putting these projects which he built, and he gets some 5 jobs first. Just daily 5 job offer. He's telling me he's he built a very complicated. He built it. So if you do something like this, if you have a network, then you will definitely get it. So that is what you need to do. That's ask for a if you don't, and go create it. Okay, if you don't have right now, it is okay. It doesn't matter. So and Twitter is there, Instagram follow that. This is a very good place to get the jobs, to get which jobs, to get freelancing jobs. And there are React.js Facebook group. There are HTML CSS Facebook group. You go to them, you'll get a job there and those things. And then some daily actions are also required, which is like you need 2 hours daily. You need to daily. As a developer, if you're non-IT back, you have to code daily. There are some challenges which you challenge known as that is something which you can do. Okay, so one sec. Let me now. Now it's time to start. I will one sec. I will give you attendance. Okay, one sec.
Hi all, am I audible now? Can someone please confirm now? Is it clear? Is it clear now? Can someone please confirm? Any cracking, any lagging, any disturbance, anything you feel, please let us know, confirm. So let's wait for some more response. Then we will start with HTML. Okay, Ganesh Tiwari, yes sir. Aditya Upadhyay, yes sir. No cracking, thanks Guru Prasad. And first attendance sheet has been shared. You all are requested to please fill it right now, because on the basis of these 2 attendance sheet you will be allotted certificates. So please don't miss anyone. Right now, fill it right now. Please fill it right now and confirm us. Any type of echo, any type of cracking, anything you feel. Perfect, Dhanu, perfect. Yeah, Shrikanta, voice breaking. How you can say voice breaking here? We have switched our entire network from Hyderabad to Bhopal. Please check yourself. Shrikanta, please check your laptop or desktop or your network connection. Anyone facing the same issue? Please reply. Or might be Shrikanta, you are seeing the you are not online correctly. Please go on live again. So kindly share that. Dhanushri, attendance form is shared in this live YouTube chat. Please see it. Yeah, thanks Prakash. Oh, thanks, Guru Prasad. So I request you all to please fill the attendance form which is being shared in the live YouTube chat. Please fill it right now, so that after that we will start the session. I will be taking the HTML and CSS part, and in this we will be designing a HTML skeleton, and then we will be adding the CSS onto it. So earlier, what we will be doing, we will be first doing the HTML, then the CSS. From now onwards, we have mixed both the things. First, we will create the HTML structure, then we will insert the CSS into it, and after that, the functionality. And after that, in the HTML and CSS, what we have created, our JavaScript, our coach Hari will add the JavaScript functionality into it. Yeah, thanks. Yeah, thanks. You are watching on LinkedIn, so I request Sai Krishna to please switch to YouTube for a better clarity, for a better streaming, and for a better experience. So if you have filled the attendance form, can we start with HTML now? And I request you all to please reply in the chat if anyone, or if you start facing any of the issue, because we have switched our entire setup from Hyderabad to Bhopal. So I don't think you feel any type of any issue here, because it's a proper fixed setup. Right, yeah. Thanks, Namendu, for sharing the YouTube link. So now I will be starting with the HTML part. And now please do like the video also. Likes are very less. And let me once again. 1 minute, 1 minute. Okay, so I have pinged to in our WhatsApp chat also that I am starting HTML now. So in case someone wants to join fast, they can also join. And please like the video also. So I hope you all have heard what is HTML, what is JavaScript, what is CSS, what is React. So now we will be taking you through the basics of HTML, CSS, and JavaScript in this, I can say, 2.5 hours. And we will be live for the entire 2.5 hours. Okay. And might be a break of 1 or 2 minutes will be there. Rest all we will be covering the entire session. So I request you all to please be attentive. And the second attendance, we will have only 2 attendance form. The second attendance form will be shared, I can say, around after 2 hours, or approximately around 2 hours. So please don't ask for the second attendance form. It's a system generated process. System will automatically throw the attendance sheet in the live YouTube chat. Little echo, Ganesh Tiwari, little echo. No, no, Monica. Monica say no. So I don't, because if echo is there, everybody will start placing the comment echo, 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 like what earlier comment was there. So let us start now. 1 second. And please see. So are you all ready? Let's start with CSS now. My screen sharing is proper to all of you. You all will be able. You all can see my screen properly. Please comment with yes. Screen clear. So let's start now. So please be with us. And now we will be starting with HTML. So you all have heard about HTML, HTML, HTML. I am 1983 born, and from 1995, I have started hearing about HTML. So HTML is basically a skeleton, and over that skeleton, CSS is there, and after that CSS, the functionality part will be taken care by the JavaScript. If you think, or if you imagine a house, the structure in the house will be the HTML. Fine. The exterior of the house will be the CSS, and my voice is coming down. Mm, 1 second, 1 second, 1 second. Okay. Okay. 1 minute. 1 minute. One minute. Okay, guys. So all the basic setup is completed now. So now, is it clear? Is is it clear now? Okay. So let's start. So what is HTML? HTML is basically hypertext markup language, which is actually not a programming language. So HTML is not a programming language. Just have a clear cut. JavaScript is a programming language, but HTML is not a programming language. So just have a basic idea and a basic clarity. What is the difference between them? So for in order to use the HTML, we have basically a VS code, which is a light code which you will be see in front of the screen which I have shared. Fine. So HTML is the main building block of the web. Fine. It is the main building block of the web. You can have a complete site with HTML. Earlier in 1995, when HTML, JavaScript, and CSS has been introduced by the W3 schools, so at that time the web page will have only links and links and links, and a only simple page of YouTube, of Yahoo, which have a simple icon only. So I still remember the Yahoo page. At that time only Yahoo and one more page was there. So the Yahoo page will have only blue color links only, and a Yahoo logo in the top. So why it is so? Because at that time the CSS was not there. So that is why it is called as the HTML is the main building block of the web, and you can prepare complete site with the help of HTML only. But it looks very ugly. For this, you need to have you need to have your CSS in order to make your page looks beautiful, attractive, fine. So for this reason, CSS has been invented, and you can again make your web page clearly and attractive and live with the help of HTML and CSS, but you will not be able to add the functionality. This functionality will only be added by the JavaScript, which we will be telling you as a part of the basics today. So uh, now let's us have, if you see my screen, I have a VS Code edition in front of you. One second. So what is this VS Code and how you will be able to install on your desktop? Because we will be practicing or preparing this on the VS Code only. So for this, VS Code for Windows. So for this, depending on your Windows, iOS or Mac, just click on it and download it. It's a very simple exe file which you all know, as you all are a part of a technical background. So you all will be able to download it properly. Just click here and it will start downloading. A exe file will start download and you will be able to get this page after completing the exe file setup. Fine. So this is a light code editor which is called as a VS Code or the Visual Studio Code, and in this we will be writing the HTML code, we will be writing the CSS code, and we will be writing the JavaScript code. This is basically a light code editor, VS Code, and now it is completely free also. So you don't need to buy any of the paid code editor in which you are writing the code, paying features and like that. So for this, one more extension you need to install here, which is the live server. The live server by Ritwik Day. I'm repeating, live server by Ritwik Day. You need to install and make it enable. Why, I will tell you. So please remember the name Ritwik Day. Fine. So now going back and closing this. Now one second. Now let us start how to add a file in the HTML. So for this, let's create a folder HTML, and a very simple method is simply create a folder and drag it. It's a very simple process. We are using the terminals also, but at this point of time, when you are on a very initial stage, no need to go on to the terminal. When you will start with React or when you will enter React, you will need to start with terminal only. So just have a quick check. So guys, my voice is clear, screen is clear, no lagging, no cracking. Can someone please confirm? Yeah, okay, Guru Prasad. Thanks, sir. Thanks. So now okay, we have added the file here. The name of the folder is HTML. Now with this first icon, just click it and write the file name as index.html. HTML file have the extension of .html. So in case any file you see with the extension name as .html, it is the HTML file only. Fine. So let us start. Here you have to write, earlier it was this, but now I can say in a month time this is being changed by the W3 school. You have to write HTML and 5. Why? Because we are using the HTML5 version and a basic skeleton is in front of you. One second, one second. So I have increased the font size also in case someone is viewing on the mobile, so he will be able to view it properly. So anyone is viewing this live on your mobile, or everyone on the laptop or desktop? All are viewing this live on your desktop laptop, or someone on the mobile or mobile handset also? Can someone please confirm? Desktop mobile. So I just asked Rohit that the font is clear to you on your mobile screen. Is it okay? Rohit Rajput, are you able to see the font size? It's perfect. Yeah, thanks. So now this is the basic structure. Yeah, thanks Alraj, thanks Rohit. Yeah, thanks. Now let's go back. So this is the basic HTML skeleton or basic HTML structure, which is sufficient enough to open a web page. Now let's open this with live server. So if you remember, I have opened a extension and asked you to install the live server with the extension of Ritwik Day. So this is the functionality. So let's add a header, and as soon as I saved it, by default it starts reflecting in this web page. So this is the functionality or the beauty of live server. So now let us understand quickly what is this entire structure indicates us. So this basic structure, as you know, this first line is the doc type HTML. This doc type HTML is basically, if you say, represents the HTML file. Fine. And second line, HTML lang en. Lang means language, HTML means HTML, and in the third, en stands for the English. If you are on a different language, it will change here from en to that different language. Samir, or let me take a 1 minute break and we'll see why echo is coming here, because 1 minute. So is it okay now? Okay, fine. Okay, shall we start? Waiting for some more replies. Let me check on my mobile also. Okay, thanks Rohit. Yeah, thanks. So checking on my mobile, is it okay or not? 1 second. Yeah, thanks Samir. Thanks. Yeah, thanks. So 1 second. Is it okay to all of you? So 1 second. Is it okay to all of you? Yeah, it's perfect. So I have checked. So I have checked now. Is it this is perfect now? So this is a basic HTML skeleton. First line is for the HTML. Second line HTML language is English. This one is the header part. In this header part, you can see a meta character set which earlier used by the digital marketers, as they will create or they will put their keywords here. As soon as you type that keyword in the Google search bar, you can get that particular web page on the top of that. So this thing has been now stopped by the Google in order to remove this keyword searching method from their search engine. So, and in this header, we will be adding some style and link tags that I will show you further. And in this head part, and in this head part, sorry, and in this body part, we will be writing the complete HTML code. So this is the HTML tag. Fine. This is the body, and this is the head tag. So no need to go deep into it. This is what is required. So now let us start with the tags now. What are tags? So as a name suggests, tag means you are tagging or you are hanging something on that particular item. So let us start with the header tag now. So what is this header tag? So header tag starts with H, and as you can see, we have H1 to H6, means we have 6 type of header tags here. Fine. So why 6 will show you. So let us have a header tag with the name as inline. So if you see, as soon as I have quotes or something approx blur. My dear Aditya, if you change your desktop video quality to 720p, you will not face the blur issue. Please change your video quality to 720p, 720 pixel. In the settings, in the advanced, you can get it. So we have H1, H2, H3, see, H1 is much increased, H2 is less compared to H1, H3 much less compared to H2, and similar you can go till H6. So H1 is the header tag, which is the most important tag and is being used across all. Fine. So after this header tag, we have a next tag which is called as the p tag. P means paragraph tag. Paragraph, as you all know what is paragraph, so let's have a dummy content in the paragraph. So what I did just now, how this will come. So for this we have a shortcut which is called as the lorem. What is lorem? Lorem is basically a dummy content which by default system will throw. Why it is used? Because if you want to check something, how it is coming, how the output of that is coming, so for this you will check with the help of lorem. Perfect. So this is basically used to check. This lorem is very old, since 1980s or 1890s. I don't know the actually the current year. When at that time of starting of the printing press, this lorem is also being used, because if you want to see the print quality of something what you have decided to print, you can check that with the help of this lorem. How these colors are coming, how fonts are coming, how much font bold is there, like that you can all check with the help of this thing. So this is a paragraph tag, and now let's move to the next tag. And okay, one thing, if you see, these h means header tags, and these p tags, there are basically paragraph tag is a block level element. And one second, if you see, um, so there are two type of elements. First one is block level element, and second one is inline elements. So these header tags and paragraph tags are the examples of block level elements. Okay. Now there are other type of tags in HTML which is called as a inline elements. So what is this inline elements? Inline elements are basically the elements which starts in the same line. Okay. So what are those? So what are those? So we will have the link tags, or let us have the anchor tag. Fine. So as you all can see, this is the anchor tag, which is basically a inline tag which starts within the same line. Okay. So here, why is this being used? So let us suppose if you want one second, let me tell you with the help of an example. So here we will paste the link and we will write Google. I save it down. As soon as, if you see, the font color is somewhat changed comparative to the content being placed in the page, and it has a underline below it. So this represents the anchor tag, because they have something inside it. If you click it, it will shift you to the another page where we have mentioned what is inside it. So these are called as the anchor tags. Here in this double quote, you write the web page or the link where you want this to act, and in case one more thing, let us have one more anchor tag, and 1 second. 1 minute. Let us open yahoo.com. Okay, so 1 second, or let us have um, outlook.com. So we will be testing this outlook.com here, and here we will write target equals to underscore blank, and we will write outlook. So what is the difference here? See how inline works. By the side of this Google, Outlook is there. So, but here I have mentioned this in the next line. So this is the example of inline element by the side, and one below the another is the block level element. Very simple in order to understand you how this will show the inline and the block level element. Here, if you see, both works in a similar functionality. If I click on Google, it will change you, or it will redirect you onto the different page. But if I click on the Outlook, it will open a new page. So this is the beauty of this, where if you write 1 second, let me open this on Google Chrome for a better understanding. See, if I clicked on Outlook, this Outlook will open in a new tab. See, my this current page is opening here, is opened here. But if I click on Google, my this page has closed, and I have my page has shifted to google.com. So this is not being liked by these days, because you are actually shifting from one page to another. Even nobody will like this type of attitude or behavior. That is why giving target underscore blank, it will redirect to the next page, keeping the current page open. So this is how this anchor tag functionality will work. So now we have some list tags. So in this list tag, we have basically two type of list. One is unordered list, and another one is ordered list. So what is unordered list? Let us start with unordered list. Start with UL, and here we will have as OL, ordered list. So how this unordered list and ordered list will work? So in this, we will inside this we have the list items. So li, and we have 1 second, li li into 5. Oh my god, sorry. I'm trying for a shortcut, but it is not working, so no worries. Li. So if you see A, B, C, D, and E. So let's save it. If you see in unordered list, all are one below the another, but have a dot in front. But in the ordered list, you see the order is being maintained properly, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So this is the beauty of ordered list and unordered list. If you want something to come in a sequence, you can use the ordered list. As the name simply says, ordered means in the order means 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And for the unordered list, you can have dots. So as per your requirement, developers use these things. Now let us have form tags. What are form tags? These UL are basically tags. UL, OL, LI are basically tags. Now, what are form tags? One second, let me pick. If you see here, one second, sign in. So if you see here, this is basically a form tag. Fine. A form in which you can log in yourself by entering your mail ID, your password, your login ID, your PIN, anything you can have. So for this form tag, there are so many kind of forms you have seen in your day-to-day life. So for this, and one more thing, some more tags, small tags. So let us have a tag name as BR. See what this BR do. BR means break row. So as soon as I give BR, the by default next thing will come below, just like this. After this BR, we have a very special tag which is called as a HR. HR means the horizontal rule. So this line is created with the help of HR. See, HR means the horizontal rule. Uh, Ajay Sharma 123 means I didn't get it here. So this HR means the horizontal rule. So now let us create some forms. So for this we have a form tag, and in this form tag we will be writing the form. So for this we have a label tag, and in this label tag we will be using the label for which we will be creating the form. So for name we have the first label, and let us see the name, and after this name we want an input. So input type will have text. Here we can you can type text, and name will be name. Fine. So this will not impact anything here, but you need to write it down. Now let's create a label for age. And after this age, let me use br here. Fine. So see, the simple two-line word will place the thing below the another. So input. Now we'll have the input, and here we will have the input type as number, because the age have the input type as number. Fine. So this is how we have created a form with the name as input, with the name, with the input as name and another input as age. So see, you can have write your name also, and see, I can't able to write any alphabet because I have mentioned here the input type as number. I can write only number only. So this is the validation part which is being done here just now. So now let us have a property. Uh, One second. Let us have a div. Div is nothing, a block level element. Let's shift it here. So div are nothing but a block level element, but it contributes a very important thing. So let me tell you, or let us have a, or I can say this is a very simple form, and after this we will have a button. So before going to the submit button, let us create another form with the label as favorite color, and in this we will have the input. We will use the select function, and we will select here the color. These things are not required. So if you see, now let's create the drop downs. So we'll have the first option as right, and here it represents as capital R, capital E, and capital D. Fine. And one second, let me remove this for also, because currently we don't use it. And here we have, sorry, ID is not required here. So here, if you see, we need to insert these options inside this color. So see this red. Now we will have some more colors here. We will have red, green, orange, I will write OR. So you can use any of the colors as per your choice. So what you write in between this greater than and lesser than sign will come here. So that is why I have mentioned capital red, small green, and only OR for orange. I hope by here you are getting the things. Can someone please confirm me? Is it okay or is it clear to all of you by here? So we have some more tags left in HTML. Then we will start with the CSS part. So guys, likes are very less likes are there. Yeah, thanks Rohit. Yeah, thanks. I can see Rohit is very active here. Even if the voice is not there, voice is clear. He is responding. So you can also have. So now let us have some more form tags here. So we have a form. If you remember, you have such kind of forms uh, where you have to select your month, birth month. Either you born in Jan, Feb, March, or April. You can select by clicking here. So this is how this form tag is used. Now let us have another type of form tags here, in which you have to select only one. If if there is an option in front of you that you are male or female, so you can select only one, which is called as the checkbox. Or no, that is the radio box. Checkbox is basically, if I say, or let us have a practical on that before having some theoretical part. So for this, let us have another div, and in this we have the label, and this label is for, I will delete it. What do you own? So for this label, I created what do you own, and in this label we will create an input. One second. We will create a input type checkbox. Here the name is vehicle 1, and here we will have to declare a value also. The value is bike. So let us assume, what do you own? So one second, let us create some more input checkbox values. So you can have bike, you can have car, you can have truck. So here After this, let us have a label also, label for bike, and this we have label for car, and here we have label for, so see, you can have bike, a car and a truck, or you can have a car, a truck, or you can have a truck, or you can have a car, or you can have all the three. So these are the options being provided by the form tags. Vertical line, we don't have anything to create a vertical line here. Let us try. We are, so see, we don't have any tag for creating vertical line. So going back, so here you can select any of the, either all of the three or any of the two. So this is, so let me have a quick understanding here. This checkbox will be created with the help of this input tag. This name bike will be created with the help of this label tag. Simple. Here we have done the reverse. Here first we have created the label. See, here we have created the label. Where is the label? Here first we have created the label, and this dash we have created the help of input. Fine. So now let us create one more uh, radio box functionality, in which we will be declaring your, or you will be declaring your gender. So for this, let us have a label, and the label is for gender, and after this label we have the input type as radio, and the name of this will be gender, and after this we will have a value as male. So let us see, and here label for male. Fine. So let us copy it once again and paste it. Female, and here value will be female. So here you can select any one. So if you see, we have seen here three type of forms. Fine. So first one is simple form. Second one is this Dropbox form, and third one is this checkbox form, and the last one is this radio box form. So the checkbox and radio box are almost very similar. If you see, checkbox are basically square boxes, and radio box are basically round boxes. So now we have created these forms. Now let us have a button. So for this we have a functionality which is called as button, and here you can see a button is created. Simply the name of the button is click. Okay, you can have input button also. The value will be submit. So another button you can create, submit. So this is how you can add buttons. Now let us have some images also, because without images website is incomplete. But how to do that, sir? Sami, the one time one selected. So you are talking about one time one selected. This is the radio box. If you are talking about Samir, I am just replying to a query. If you are talking about this gender, this is the functionality with the help of radio box. See, this input type radio will activate this thing. So this input type radio will activate this thing, in which you can actually check only one box at a time. You cannot check both. Here you can check both or all the three. Fine. So now let us have a very important tag which is called as the image tag. Here we have a folder here. Now let us create a new folder with the name as images. One second, let me delete it now. As soon as I have created here, see, I've changed the name. By default this name has changed here. So this is the beauty of VS Code as it works in a live platform. So here let me have, what is this unsplash? Why I picked unsplash? Because you might get into a trouble of copyright if you actually pick any image from any other web page. But in this unsplash.com, this site is actually here to provide free images where no one will can claim you. So let us click here and let me download the small size. And one second, there the images folder, and in this we will, okay, so we can see here also this image is inserted. So now let us insert this image in our code. For this, image tags has been introduced. One second. So now let us add this image here. For this image tag, img tag has been introduced here, in which you can create image with the help of image tag. So here you can images, and this is the file name, and in the alt we have ice cream, because this image is of an ice cream. So simple, with the help of this img image tag you can actually insert images. But why this ice cream I have mentioned here? Because in case if uh, if you have, as soon as we have started the bootcamp, video and audio tags come into an advanced function, yes, that's only allow in HTML5, Rohit. But due to the scarcity of time, we will not be able to show here. Okay, we will be covering only basics part of HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. So for this, we have. I request you to please join any one of our YouTube. Oh, sorry, any one of our WhatsApp chat, WhatsApp group. One second, let me share the link also. So we will be having a 5-day series for HTML, oh sorry, for CSS beginner to advanced and advanced to master, in which we will be telling this. And also we have JavaScript beginner to advanced and advanced to master series, in which we will be covering the entire topics. The session will be of almost 1 hour and 1.5 hours session, 1.5 hours time of 5 days. Will start from Monday to Friday, not every week. If you are in any of the group, uh, you can actually get the notification for those things. So here, if you see, the images has been added here. So I can say the basics we have completed for HTML5. So these are very simple tags. No need to mug up. Just keep those tags in your mind and where to use and what to use. These tags what we have completed. Yes, it will. It is live. It is live. It is live. We have only live sessions, no pre-recorded and recorded times. So uh, the tags what we have mentioned here, the tags what we have explained here, are the most common used tags in any of the live developer editions live. Fine. So these are most commonly used tags which you can use in all your daily lives like that. So now let us have um, let us start with CSS now. So before this, let us have a 2 minute break. A 2 minute break. Let us have a 2 minute break. Let us have a 2 minute break so that I will make my setup ready for CSS. Table are not used these days, yeah, Rohit. So we have now skipped table. Table are not being used these days. It is created with the help of CSS. It is easily being created with the help of CSS. Fine. So let us start with CSS now. So here, if you have seen, we have a page which is very simple and which looks very ugly. Why? Because it is prepared in pure HTML5. So you can also have a web page in HTML. It is not required to have CSS, to have JavaScript, or you can have your page in React also. That depends on your requirement. So if you have a very simple, if you want your page to be very simple, you can create it in a HTML. You can create using HTML and CSS. No need to add JavaScript functionalities. And one more thing I would like to add: HTML earlier in 1995, all these things are being managed or governed by W3 schools. W3 schools is the main governing authority of HTML, JavaScript, and CSS. It is being introduced in 1995, and in 2015, a major upgradation has been happened in all these three web developments. So for this, the basic flexbox and grid properties has been introduced in CSS. ES6 in JavaScript has been introduced in JavaScript in 2015, and HTML5 has been added. Earlier it was HTML3. So for this, what is CSS? If you see, like today's web pages, what is open in front of you, all these things are prepared in CSS only. See, this is created, this page you can very well create with the help of flexbox and grid, or I can say the legendary masonry layout will actually fit this page very properly. एक पेज पे हम मल्टीपल इमेज कैसे ले सकते हैं? माधुरी, okay. So using the image tags, multiple images you can link. So uh, uh, one second, we have one image here, and let us download this image also. One second. So if you see, we have two images here. Image tag, we'll have another image tag, and here just write the path and select the image. Here also you can just write the path and select the image, save it. See, both images are there. So with the help of this image tags, you can actually use multiple images in your page. Now let us start with CSS. What is CSS? What are the tags? How you can add CSS, like this. So one sec. Okay, fine. So here we have, we can CSS are basically cascading style sheets, and this is basically used to, what can I say, to beautify your HTML, to glorify your HTML page. And without CSS, your page will look very ugly. Fine. You cannot you cannot prepare a attractive site without CSS. So that is why CSS is very important, because these days attraction is very important. If someone visits your page, you or they also want to stay in your page. So this is what the CSS will work like. Even I have saw so many people who have built their careers in HTML and CSS only. HTML and CSS is also very vast, which is not possible for anyone to cover in just 3 hours. Fine. It will take around, I can say, 10 to 12 hours study of both HTML and CSS. But what we have covered, or what we are covering, will actually help you out for your day-to-day activities, because we have covered the most important tags which is being used. There are so many tags which is not being used or not being required, but it is there. So now let us have how to add CSS. So let us start with H1, and after this H1 we have H2, and we have a paragraph. So there are three ways in which you can add CSS. First one is inline, second one is internal, and third one is external. So there are three ways. I have mentioned all the three ways. So what is inline? Inline means in the same line, which is directly in the HTML element. So let us have, see, in the same line, I have added the CSS. Second is the internal. Internal means within the HTML file. Here, inline means in the HTML element, and second one here in the HTML file. So how? For this, we will be adding the style here, and in this we will add the H2, and here we can have the background color as hash double f double zero double f. See, a light pink type of color is there. Now in this third one is the external type, in which you can add colors. So in this external type of CSS addition, as the name says external, so you will be creating externally a CSS file and adding CSS to it. So as the name says, we have created an external file, and in this we will be adding again background color in the format of red, in the combination of red, zero. But as soon as I saved it, it is not reflecting here. Why? Because as the name says external, you have to link these things with the help of link tag. See, as soon as I have linked this, see what is link? Link is a tag which is used to link two files. So here link rel style sheet href style.css. This is the file name what I have created here. We have linked both the file names. HTML file names and with .html, CSS file name ends with .css. So now as soon as I have saved it, all the three colors you can see. Now if you notice one thing, I have added colors. I have added colors in three forms. First one is aqua, simply typing the name of the color. Second one is in this hash format. Third one in this RGB format. So what are these? Why I have not used any of these colors in a single form? And let me tell you one thing before going deep into this. So this P is basically a selector. Fine. This entire thing what we have mentioned in this curly brackets are the declaration. This is the property and this is the value. Fine. Selector, declaration, property and value. This is called as, this complete thing is called as CSS selectors. Fine. So here if you notice, I have added colors in three formats. Rohit, please be patient. I will tell you what is this RGB, how is it, how to add it. Please be patient. So here there are three ways in which you can add colors. First one is simply typing the name of the color, which I did. Second one is the hexadecimal format, which starts with hash. Third one is the RGB format. RGB stands for red, green and blue. RGB. So now let us have some more study on it. Let us use the let us use once again HTML color picture. So here, as I told you, in 2015 major upgradation has been happened here. So if you see, you can have one. Let me have 1 second. HTML color codes list. Fine. So here you can have, in this page you can have all the name of the colors with their RGB format, with their hexadecimal format. RGB stands for red, green and blue. As human eye can see a combination of colors with the name of the colors in the pattern of RGB, and RGB has a range starting from 0 to 255. So that's what I have mentioned here. It the smallest value, the lowest value is 0 and the highest value is 255. And in this hexadecimal format, it starts with hash. Fine. And if you, I can say most of you have a technical background in which you have learned number system, where there is a number system, there is a value of number system which is called as hexadecimal number system, which starts from A to F and includes 0 to 9. So this is how this number system will work here also. So here in this page you can see, see you can have the color codes as per your thoughts, as per your imaginations, like that. You can create colors. Here you have this hexadecimal value, you have this RGB value. And in the next page you have the name of the colors which I have mentioned as aqua. Here you can have Indian red, light coral, salmon, dark salmon, light salmon, like that. See, this is the RGB value, this is the hexadecimal value. Fine. So this is how you can actually put colors in your web page. This is the beauty of this thing. So now let us have some more font properties. Let us insert some more font properties in our HTML. So for this, let me clear my screen now, because we will now be using only the external CSS. Rest all is only inline and uh, only inline and external is being used. External is being loved, and inline if someone wants to give instantly some CSS in the HTML element, just now they can use the inline part. So here let us have uh, let us have a lorem, and I saved it here. Why it comes yellow? Because I have mentioned this color by default in here. So now let us have some more font properties. We'll have start with font size. We will give as 20 px. Fine. What is this font size? If you see earlier, by default system uses 16 px as the available font size. Here px is the unit of font size, which stands for pixel. Now let us have line height. Will have 0.5 rem. Change it to 2.5 rem. Fine. So what is this line height? Line height means the spaces between these lines, the gaps between these lines. So this is how line height functionality will work. And here we have a different unit which is called as the REM. REM is another unit being used. So let us have some fonts here. So for this we have an element which is called as the font family. So in this font family element, we will be using, or I can say we will be inserting the fonts. So we'll have this Arial, Helvetica, and Sans Serif font. Why these three fonts? Because if you see these days, we have Chrome, we have Safari, we have Firefox, we have so many available browsers with us, and all are supported. But in case if it is possible, if there is a scenario where I can say, let us suppose Google Chrome is not supporting Arial, and I am opening my page in Firefox. Fine. So if you see, if Google Chrome is not supporting Arial, it will pick up the next available font, which is the Helvetica, which I have already given. These second and third fonts are called as the fallback fonts. Fine. These fonts are basically used as a next available fallback fonts in case you are opening your page in Google Chrome and Google Chrome does not support Arial and it supports Helvetica, so it will pick up this Helvetica fonts. So, or I can say, let's assume, let's for example, Safari does not support Arial and Helvetica and it supports sans serif, so it will by default pick up the sans serif font. So this is the main reason why we are taking an options. So now let us have some more Google fonts, because these days Google fonts are being used. If you see, we have Google fonts in front of you, and there are n number of Google fonts being available. N number of Google fonts are available here. And one more very important thing, let us pick up let us pick up let us pick up let us pick up this Anton. So we will be using regular 400 style. So here, just click on import, double click, select all, and simply type in the top. Now let us add this font, Anton. Now see, this is how our content looks like if we have given the Google font Anton. Now let us have a font property which is called as the font weight. We have the font weight as bold. It will again change more bolder compared to the available font from the Google. Now let's go into this PX and EM, what I have mentioned here. What is this PX and EM? As I told you, these are basically the units of measurements. If you measure water, it is in ml. If you measure sugar, it is in kg. So here we have this PX, REM and EM. So PX, as you all are using a mobile device or laptop device or electronic device which has their unit in PX, which stands for pixel. Pixel means, I don't think I need to tell you what is pixel. So just have a basic idea of pixel. Now what is this REM? And we have another unit which is called as the EM. Here, if you see, REM works independently, but EM works, or EM depends upon the div. The div was what we have completed in the HTML part. So the REM values are relative to the root HTML element and not to the parent element. So root HTML means the HTML element, parent means the div. Fine. So now let us switch to the main important properties of CSS, which is called as the classes and IDs. So what are classes? What are IDs? Classes and IDs have a common task which is used to target the element. Fine. So classes and IDs have a common task in order to target the element, but classes can be used multiple times. Same class can be used multiple times, but ID can only be used one time. So here, let me have, fine. So let me do one thing. And inside this div, let me paste this. And here we will have a class. The name of the class will be top, and we'll have again another div, and lorem is there, and here we will declare ID bottom. Now let us differentiate. Let us create a difference here. Always copy the class names and the ID names. Now let me remove it, save it. Here, dot, the name of the class, and let us have the font size of 20px, and we will have the font weight as bold. And for this second one, always copy the class name and the ID's name. We will use the hash functionality, and here we will have the line height as 0.5 pm. Fine. So always remember, classes being highlighted with dot and IDs being highlighted with hash. Same class can be used multiple times, but ID can only be used one time. Now let us have some more font properties here, where we will be covering the text decoration, text transform to uppercase, and here we will use the text decoration. Font values are not coming. One second. We will have the none here. remove it. Text equation none, text transform uppercase, and we will have here let's have text transform to lowercase. Fine. One second. One second. Some error is here. Okay. Now it works fine. Fine. All are into lowercase, and here text decoration we have line through, and let us have some more font size of 50 px. So we have given a line through here. It is let us change it to none. Save it, and here okay. So these are some basically font. These are some basic font properties. Uh, Now let us switch to the box model property. So for this box model property, let me create a small box pattern format. Removing this div, saving it. Fine. So now what is this a box model property? So let's have a border of 2p, a solid of forest green color. If you see here, what I did, just right click and inspect here. See, if you see in the bottom right, which is here, so box model contains of four things. First one is the content. Above this content, so first one is the content. Above this content we have a padding. Above this padding we have a border, and above this border we have a margin. So this box model is a very common interview question, and it contains four things. What four things it contains? It contains basically the fourth thing, which is called as the content. Outside this content we will have padding. Outside this border we will have border, and outside this we will have margin. Fine. Now let us have some padding and border here. One second, closing this. Now let's have some padding. We'll have padding of 20 px. Let me tell you one thing. REM and px are the most common used units. As I've told you, inline and external are the most common type used CSS. And outside this padding we have border, what we have already created, and after this we have margin of 20 px. See what has happened. We have a border of, let me change it to 5px. We have a border of 5px, solid means concrete, the color is forest green. Padding means 20px, means 20px from the top, 20px right, 20px bottom, and 20px left. Margin 20px, 20px top, right, bottom, and left. Now, in case if we want margins only in one direction, okay, if we want margin only in one direction and padding also in one direction, let us show we have padding only in left. From left we have 20 px, and in the right I want 30 px. I can give it. See, and in the margin, if margin left I want 50 px, and in the margin top I want 80 px. I can give it. Fine. So this is another way, and one another way. Let's have margin. Let us have margin as 10px space 20p. So here 10px is for top and bottom, 20px is for left and right, and similarly padding we have 20px and 10px. So 20px top bottom, 10px left and right. So these are the ways in which you can actually add a, you can actually create a box model property. Fine. So here okay, let me add here the font size to 50. X. Now let us have a another font property which is called as the word spacing. Word spacing. Let's have 0.5 em. Word spacing. Sorry. 0.5 em. And we have letter spacing 0.4 em. See, the name simply suggests what is the word spacing and what is letter spacing. Word spacing means space between the words. Letter spacing means space between the letters. Fine. So these are some font properties which we will be adding in our day-to-day activities, what I have covered here. Now we will be moving on to the next important topic in CSS, which is called as the styling of list. What is this list basically? Lists are basically a very common thing being used these days. With the help of CSS, you can actually style it. So let us create a basic structure, and then we will be creating it. So let us create a div, and inside this div we have a header and We have some list tag also. Okay. Let us try a shortcut here. Li into 5. See, you all need to mug up the shortcuts. Trust me, because you all, if you have shortcuts, you need to type less, because it will waste your another 2 minutes these lines. So here, let us have a category here, and if we don't want our page to go anywhere with this anchor tag, you just write hash here. Fine. And in this, let us have category 1, category 2, and category 5. So we have created some categories here. Okay, and this is the main header what we have created. So now let us create, let us have a class also, categories. So now let us copy this class and targeting this class category now. Dot categories, and here we will have the first box model property of 9px solid and green color. Let us use orange red. Fine. Now let us add some padding of npx, and here we'll have the border radius property to 5px, which have turned this sharp edges to the curved one. Fine. So now in this categories, we will target the h2, means the header 2, and we will have a text align center property which will center this category in the center. Fine. So now let us target uh, 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 1 second. We have to add the unordered list here. So now here, let's target the unordered list, and in this unordered list we will be having a padding of 0. So see, entire content have shift towards the left. Now we will be removing this 0 with the help of a tag which is called as the list style as none. See, this underlines. Fine. Oh, sorry. It is the list style as none. The dots, these dots are removed now. Now we will be having, now we will be targeting the anchor tag, and in this anchor tag we have a property which is called as text decoration as none. So here this underline has changed, and we will give the color to black. These font colors are now changed to black. Now in this anchor tag we will be having a hover property. Hover property is basically a pseudo class properties in which if I move my mouse on this anchor text, the color of this mouse will change to yellow. See, as soon as I moved my mouse, the font color will change to yellow. This is called as a hover property. Now let us target the list item also, in which we will be having the padding in the bottom. One second, ABB in the bottom, padding in the bottom 60x. So it will insert some spaces, or we will change it to 10px. Fine, so it looks nice now. I'll have border in the bottom of 2px dotted with black color. So this is, you can refer to our list which we will be doing. Fine. So now I will be switching, or I will be handed over this session to our colleague Hari Prasad. So he will be taking the JavaScript now.
Hey, hello all. Is my voice is audible for all of you? Hello everyone. So just give a comment. Is my voice is audible? Just give a comment. Yes, yes, yes. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yeah. Okay. Fine. Most of them are active. Happy to see that. Okay. So because it is a long hour boot camp, right? So it is a 3 hours of boot camp, learning code for 3 hours, just simply watching the code. It's been difficult, right? So even teaching code is also difficult, same difficult like that, like you. Okay. Okay. So, and if you are like bored or tired, just go and refresh, because we are going to cover and most important topic in the development field. Okay, so that is going to be JavaScript. Okay, so if I say, like, if you learn a single programming language and you get everything in development field, that is going to be a JavaScript. So I just going to give one brief view of what is JavaScript and why we need JavaScript and how it emerged and all the introduction spots and all. Okay, so that is what we're going to cover, because JavaScript within 30 minutes we cannot cover JavaScript fully. Okay, so for that what we need at least like around 2 months itself to take over JavaScript and understand everything in JavaScript. Okay, so from my side, I just going to say about what is the exact use of JavaScript and where we using that. Okay, so first we going to like why we need actually JavaScript and how popular is JavaScript. I think most of them all know how popular is JavaScript. Do you heard about JavaScript previously, or this is the first time you are hearing about JavaScript? Just give a comment like this is the first time, or you already know about something about JavaScript. That is fine. Just say I know something about JavaScript. Just give a comment. Let's make this section much more interactive. Okay, so because we're going to see about the purpose of JavaScript and how it is emerged and how useful it's going to be. That is what we're going to see. Okay, so just give a comment whether you know JavaScript already or not. First time. So you are hearing this word JavaScript, right? This is the first time. Okay, most of the comment, I know basics only. Yeah, fine. Okay, so I just tell you why we need JavaScript and what is the core functionality and do what exactly JavaScript is doing. Okay, so till now what all are the texts we have covered? We have covered HTML and CSS, right? So this is the two texts we have covered. Okay, I know, but daily basics, right? Okay, fine. Okay, so we have covered two technologies. Okay, so by using this two texts, what we can able to do? We can able to create a website, right? We can, I can't understand properties. You mean, I think you are asking for properties in CSS, right? Fine. Properties is nothing but like, I just explained. Just bear with me. I will explain the fundamentals of web dev right now. Okay. So bear with me. I will tell you what is properties and all. Okay. So by using HTML and CSS, we can able to create an static website. So what is meant by static website? So it is not dynamic. For example, it will not give communication. So the websites are look like something we can read it. The websites look like blogs, the website like newspaper websites, the website like portfolio websites that can be created by HTML and CSS. But that is the core purpose. We are here to learn web development. Actually, the answer is no, right? So consider a big giant websites like, for example, web apps, like for example, Amazon, Flipkart, Netflix, Hotstar, something like some big apps is there, right? So even I'm streaming in some of the web app Restream Studio. Okay, so that is also in web app, and YouTube. Okay, everything is comes under that web app concept, right? So by using HTML and CSS, we can capable to create everything. The answer is no. The answer is actually no. So by using JavaScript, you can do all other things. Okay, maximum things. Okay, I will explain you from the basics. Bear with me, and we will go with that. Okay, so and I'm saying this 30 minutes not enough for covering JavaScript. Okay, so I will just give an idea that what JavaScript is doing in this web development field. Okay, so by using this idea, later you can learn that. Okay, so just a minute, I share my screen. I think now my screen is available, right? Just a minute. Okay, give a second. Okay, give a second. Yeah, wait a minute. Yeah, now it's working for me. Okay, so I think now my screen is available, right? So you can be able to see my screen, right? Yeah, fine. Only videos on cameras. Now it's available. Okay, so I will explain you what is that. Okay, yes. Okay, fine, we go with that. So I think now you have see my board, right? So this is my board. Okay, let us consider, for example, we just going to see about the entire thing about web development and what is the purpose of using JavaScript in that. Okay, so bear with me. Okay, so I just going to say, for example, right now what we are learning web dev, right? Web development. Okay, so in this web development, actually there are two parts is there, and most of you heard about this, like front end is there and back end is there, right? So this is going to be the back end. Okay, so what, there is two part, actually there is two sections is there, and one covers the front end part and another covers the back end part. So what this front end do? So the front end is nothing but it is the static website that you are seeing. Client is visible, static website that visible to the client. So what is mean by this? For example, if I go for Wikipedia, just any website, I just go for something like Wikipedia. Okay, most we know Wikipedia, right? So I just go for Wikipedia. You can see everything here. What you see in your neck eyes, that is called as static websites. Okay, so what all are the things you are seeing here, that comes under front end part. Okay, so like for example, what all are the technologies to build front end means, for example, we have HTML, right? By using HTML we can build the structure, right? So we can able to add paragraph, we can able to add headings, we can able to add image, we can able to add something, videos, whatever we want, right? So we can add the structure of a website. Okay, but only without only HTML the website looks ugly. Okay, we are not able, that is not like not a good looking website. Then comes another one that is called as CSS. What is this? Cascadian style sheet. That is what you are seeing right now. It is used for design. You can say like it is used for not for design and alignment. You can say like that simply. Okay, alignment. Okay, so what this CSS is do? So only HTML, the website looks very ugly. When you use CSS, it will give a good eye color, like a good website, right? So if you go for Netflix, it shows something like it shows something beautiful, right? So the beautiful colors, beautiful patterns, everything is there. So that is what CSS do. So how it is working like that? For example, it is working in a layer by layer. For example, HTML is the base layer. HTML is the base layer. On the top of the HTML, CSS is there. Okay, so if you remove the CSS, only the base layer will be available. Okay, so for example, what is the purpose of creating, like building a car? For example, first I need to make the structure of the car, something like this, like only the iron steel part, right? So that is going to be the structure of car. So we can consider the structure of the car, that is considered as HTML. I just give an example. And all the colorings, lightings, and where the light has to come, where the rear mirror has to come, where that what is the color of the car, what is the color of the tire, how the tire want to looks like, so what is the logo, and everything that's decided by CSS. Okay, so the same you can apply it for your website. Okay, so the paragraph, contents, elements, image, everything come from HTML, and the beautiful good looking websites comes from CSS. And what is the JavaScript part is doing? So JavaScript part is an engine of the website. We can say that it is controls the behavior of the website. Okay, for example, if you're taking car, JavaScript is like an engine. Without engine, only seeing HTML and CSS, what we can do, we can simply watch that, nothing else we can do. Okay, if I use the JavaScript, then what you can do, you can able to do some behavioral actions. Okay, so what is my behavioral actions? It works dynamically. So I will explain you what is meant by dynamically. And someone asked me what is properties, right? What is properties, right? So I explained that. For example, HTML is like a structure, right? So CSS is the design controlling thing, like it's a Cascadian style sheet, is going to control the design and alignment. So what all are the maybe what we can do by using design? For example, we can increase the font size and we can decrease the font size, and we can give a new font family. We can introduce the new font family, like we can give, and there are so much of font families that we can give. And what we can do, we can increase the height of the element, we can increase the width of the element, right? And color, we can change the color of an element, we can change the background color element, and we can align the element to right, left side, center, right? So we can do so much of things, right? That so much of things is called properties. Property nothing but what you need to change. For example, you need to change the color of the element. So that color is the property in CSS. If you want to change the background color, then background color is going to be CSS, and everything has a naming word. And once you get practice, you can able to do that. Okay, so this is what CSS do. And come to JavaScript. Okay, right now we are seeing discuss only JavaScript front end only. So in the front end, there is a third technology is there. That is the another layer. For example, the base layer is HTML. In the top of this is there. In the top of this JS is there. JavaScript is going to be there. And JavaScript is for the behavioral action. So what is mean by behavioral action? So behavioral action means it gives the page, it gives just it makes the page dynamic. Okay, for example, what we can say the page dynamic and all means, if you want to click a button, something has to happen. If you want to wait for an event that the user has to perform, then you need to do some actions. Then what you can see, that is all done by JavaScript. Okay, so I just explain you why JavaScript and how JavaScript is popular and all. Okay, so I just explain you. For example, if you go for a shop in your nearby home, okay, in nearby home you are going for a shop, but in that shop no shopkeeper is there. Then what you do, you just go and look all the things, and there is no shopkeeper. We are not able to purchase anything, right? We are not able to do any action, right? We go and see and we come, right? Some people rob it. Okay, that is not a matter. Okay, so we just come. If the no shopkeeper is, no action is there, and we will come that. So JavaScript is like an shopkeeper. Okay, so in your website, if you go for a website and there is no buttons is there, there is no JavaScript is there, then what happens? You will do nothing, right? You will just see the website and there is no action is there, means nothing is there and we can move. But JavaScript makes the page dynamic. Okay, so it allows you to get more information. For example, if you are searching for like you go for Amazon, you are searching for like something like toy section. So you give what you will do, in the input box you give toys, and what you do, you press a button, right? So if you press the button, then what happened? All the toys categories will be displayed. That is done by JavaScript. Okay, so mention now the JavaScript is not there, then how it is possible? It is not possible at all. Okay, so JavaScript is responsible for this behavior. I will show you a live example. Wait for a minute. JavaScript works in the form section and all. Okay, and now we come to know what is JavaScript is doing. JavaScript is used for the behavior of the website. Okay, so mention that. And is JavaScript is a programming language? JavaScript is a programming language. Initially it is like client side language. It comes for client side language. It is not a programming language initially when it arrives. Okay, so it is comes for client side language. What is meant by client side? Client side is nothing but front end. Okay, it is the language for the front end. Whatever the dynamicity you need to give for your front end, you can give that. Okay, but now we can consider JS as a programming language, because we can use now JavaScript in the back end too. Okay, so now before getting into that, we need to understand what is front end, right? So front end, I already say what all are the things that you are seeing with your eyes. So consider as a front end part. Then what is the back end part in the development? So the back end part is nothing but if you enter your data like your email and your password and you giving sign up, then what would happen? Your data will send to a storage unit that is considered as a database. That is considered as a database. In this database, your information is stored by using some keys and IDs, and it will be stored securely. Okay, and after that you are coming right now, another time you are coming here, you need to sign in, and it will do, it will check with the database and it will show you that, right? So all other information, like for example, you are purchasing something in Amazon, your purchase history, so you need to store something, that is all covered by backend. So backend is nothing but we have server is there. The server is nothing but it is serving our request. For example, I'm saying I love your website and I be a customer to your website, like you are going for Amazon, you are login. Okay, so what does the server do? The server takes the information, okay, take the information and go and store it in the database. Okay, and after that, if you ask something like for example you want toys, if you are searching something and that is considered as response, it will send the response to us. So the request and response from the client to the database is handled by the server and database, and a programming language is used. A programming language is used to communicate with the server and the database. That programming language, there are so many backend programming language. So we can, for backend, we can use Java, we can use Python, we can use PHP, we can use Ruby Rails, we can use much more. But now JavaScript is also used. Initially, JavaScript is come for only for the front part, but now JavaScript also used in the Node backend framework called Node.js. Okay, so now we can use JavaScript both front end and back end. And now you want to be a web developer. You want to be an web developer. Then what you can do? You can learn JavaScript. And if you learn JavaScript, you can capable to work with the front end part, and also you can capable to work with the back end part. Okay, so now you can able to create the full website, like entire website. If you want, like if you get a website like Amazon, if you want to create a website like something like Flipkart, Hotstar, Netflix, whatever website you want to create, learn a single language that is called as JavaScript. That will give access for all this thing. Okay, so by using JavaScript, you can do either both things. Okay, so you can able to do the front end part and also the back end part, everything. Okay, so that is why JavaScript is nowadays popular. It is the topmost programming language in the development field. Okay, you can use it for front end, back end, whatever you want. Okay, so and now you want to know about how JavaScript is working and all. I just going to show you that example very soon how it is working. Okay, so the next thing what you need to understand, most of the common question asked by the students is if I want to use JavaScript, I want to set up something. That is what, like you want to set up, if you want to use the Python, then you set up a local environment for Python, and then only you can able to use that, right? So the same question is asked by some other students, like whether I want to set up something. The answer is no. For using JavaScript is free, and no installation, no download is required. Okay, why? Because JavaScript is inbuilt in your browsers. Okay, so what is meant by browsers? The browser you are using, Google, Mozilla Firefox, Opera, so much of them, right? So everything contains JavaScript. So in every website, if you have a browser, then JavaScript is able to work on that. So you need to set up anything. Okay, so you can do entirely free. Okay, so that is the plus for that. And how it's working? And we know, like we have a JavaScript code, we have a JS code. Okay, and this is our browser. Okay, so usually we know that browser only, like our computers only understand zeros and ones, right? So it only understands the zeros and ones. So I'm writing code here, and how this code is understood by this browser. So this code is understood by this browser by using engine that is called as JS, which means JavaScript engine. This JS engine is inbuilt in each and every browser. Okay, so with different names. For example, Google uses JavaScript engine that is named as V8, and they have something like SpiderMonkey for Firefox, I think so. So there are so much of things is that. Okay, so this engine is responsible. This engine in the browser that is responsible to run our code, not run our JavaScript code in the browser. So actually, what is this doing? This act like a translator. It's act like a translator. If I am speaking English, some people don't understand English. Then what they say? They can say like, I'm not able to get you. I'm not understand. I don't know English. Please tell me, right? So likewise, browser only understand zeros and ones. So what this JS engine is do? It converts our JavaScript code to browser understandable code. Okay, so likewise, only this browser is able to understand our code. Okay, so we have so much of engine for every browser. They have different engine, and one of the most fastest engine is V8 engine. And lately I discussed about Node.js, right? So Node.js is when you use JavaScript in the backend, that is you need to use a runtime that is called as Node.js. And Node.js is very popular for his speed. Okay, so this speed is come from this V8 engine. Okay, so by using this we come right now, you just understand like that. Okay, so what are the things you need to understand? JavaScript gives the life for our website. First thing is JavaScript gives the life for website. Okay, for example, consider this is your project, and if I click something like, for example, I say git, and I just click this and something is happening, right? So this happening is done by JavaScript. Okay, so you are doing something and you are clicking something. If I say something like some unidentified word and I just clicking something, this what happened, it says like no matching result, like that, right? So this is all done by JavaScripts. Okay, so this is all done by JavaScript is responsible for the life of the website. Okay, remain that word. JavaScript is responsible for the life of the website. Okay, it gives life for our website. Okay, so that is the main thing. Okay, so for example, I just going to show you the real example where we use the JavaScript. Okay, so for example, I have a project which is already built. Okay, I just go and open with my Visual Studio Code. Okay, and right now you have discussed about HTML. What is HTML? We have seen about HTML is the structure for website, right? It is gives the structure to our website. You can see I just, by using HTML and CSS, I created a good looking website. You can notice here, right? You can notice here HTML and CSS, I just created good looking website. So this CSS is all this margin, padding, box sizing, font family, everything is called as properties. That is determines that what I want to change, what step give. Okay, so and for using JavaScript, you need to use the file extension called JS. Okay, so you need to just create a new file, give an extension .js. Like if you give for HTML .html, right? For CSS you give .css. Same like for JavaScript you need to give .js. Okay, so .js is an extension you need to use, and in CSS you use a link to link the external CSS to the HTML, right? So then only you can able to access all the files, all the file properties in your HTML. Okay, so that is possible. But the same, like if you want to, for JavaScript also we created a separate file, and for that file you need to add an script tag. Like, okay, so you need to give a script tag, and with the attribute src, in this src only you need to give the file name of the JavaScript. If you give that file name of the JavaScript, then what would happen, this JavaScript. Okay, so that's how you need to add. And there is two way of adding. One is you need to add the JavaScript at the bottom of the body, or you need to add the JavaScript at the head section. So the recommended way is to go with the bottom of the body. Why I'm saying the bottom of the body, it literally increase the speed of your website. It because sometimes the more JavaScript code delays the rendering process of the HTML and CSS. If you use the script tag like JavaScript linking this JavaScript code body, then it will not affect the static websites. Okay, so that is what doing. Okay, so right now we're going to see. So this is considered as h1, and this paragraph tag, this input box, and this coloring, background color, everything is done by HTML and CSS. Okay, but what JavaScript is doing, for example, if you are going for a real website like this, the website is asking for your name and email. If you don't give nothing, like no name is given, no email is given. If I simply submit this, you see a pop-up, right? Enter all the values, or it gives something like give a valid input, and you see like somewhere like if you're setting a password, it gives some notification like the password must be strong and everything, right? So that is also handled by the JavaScript. Okay, so what this JavaScript will do, the JavaScript will manipulate this browser. Okay, so by using JavaScript we can able to create an element, we can able to style an element, we can able to delete an element, we can able to append an element, we can able to do whatever we want. Okay, and after you are entering your name, like something like this and something like this, entering name and email, okay, you sign into the web page. For example, if you are in Amazon, after signing in, you can see like welcome Harry, or welcome somewhere like Samir, welcome Suraj, like that. You can see your name in the home page, right? It is working by using JavaScript. After submitting this page, you can notice your name is Harry and your email is showing like blah blah, right? So this dynamicity is done by JavaScript. Without JavaScript, you cannot do this dynamic interface. Okay, so JavaScript is a language that will responsible for everything. If you want to work with the front end, you can go with JavaScript. If you want to work with the back end, you can go with the JavaScript. And this is actually JavaScript contains, and this is how JavaScript works. Okay, for example, if you want to write and see, right now you can see the color of the background is yellow, right? The box color of the background is yellow. Right, to after submitting, what I'm going to do, I just going to a button like, okay, so I just going to say like button, and I just say, I just give an ID btn, and here I can mention like change. Okay, so right now you can notice a button is created here, right? A button is created here. Okay, so I just going to use by if someone clicks this button, what would happen? The entire body is changed to not entire body. This div is changed to black color. How can I do that? Okay, so that is JavaScript. How can I do that? First, you need to fetch this element. Okay, if you are not understanding, no problem. I already said that JavaScript needs take time. Okay, I'm just telling like where you can and how the JavaScript works in the browser. Okay, so for that I just say const x is equal to document dot get element. I'm getting the element which I want. Okay, so I just get element by ID, and you notice that I give an ID for an so ID is nothing but a naming word for an element. I just going to say like this. Okay, so I just fit this ID. Okay, now what I going to do, if a client comes and he clicks this button, this div has to change the background. Right now it has yellow, it is want to change to some other different color, right? So that is one. So right now we fetched this element that is stored in a variable called x. Okay, that is stored in a variable called x. So if someone clicks this, something has to happen. So how can I do that? You can, that is called as event, waiting for an event. So I just go say add. Okay, so if someone click this, I just give a demo for you. Okay, so that is why, if you are not understand, that is fine. Okay, so that is fine. Okay, so I just going to say if someone clicks this, what would happen? This background color need to change. Okay, so what is this background color contains? This background color is contained in this div, right? Which div? This class container, right? So what I'm going to do, I just going to fetch that container which I want to change. Okay, document dot get element by ID. I think. Okay, just a minute. Yeah, okay. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I just fetch that element, and what I'm going to do, if someone clicks this button, it need to change to some like blue. Okay, so what I'm coding means if someone clicks this button, this is need to change for the blue. Okay, so that is the code I am returning here. Okay, so just a minute. Okay. You can see. Okay, so this dynamic, how to know when to use const, define, or var, how to use const and learn. So this is comes under the concept of scoping. Okay, so right now just understand how it is performing, that is fine. So this is comes under the concept of hoping. I simply say avoid var. Okay, so let is something that the advanced version of the var. Okay, so let is something advanced version of the var. Var is a functional scope, but it doesn't have an something like block level scope. So that is why the after the ES6 update happened, what they do, they just for avoiding that var, they created var and const, sorry, let and const. The let is an update version of the var, and const is for the constant value. Okay, constants for the constant value. So the constant value is nothing but, like, for example, if you have a value that is you don't want to change, okay, so that is the source value that you don't want to change, means then what you can do, you can go for the const. Okay, so right now, for example, this is the base color I'm having. If I click this button, you can see this is color is changed to blue, right? So instead of form, I just wanted this for my body. Okay, click this, you can notice my body is changed, right? So this is how JavaScript, we work with JavaScript dynamicity. Okay, so I think Rohit Rajput is asking me what is know that, right? So like I said, like var is a little bit old version. Okay, so var is like a little bit old version. So by use that version, what you can able to do, you can able to work with the functional scope and global scope only. So it is not we cannot build that particular scope inside a block level, so it is not possible. Okay, so that is why the updation came. The updation is let. When you are using let keyword, we can be able to use the functional scope, block level scope, and also the global scope. If all the three is possible. So constants is for constant value. Once you assign a variable with const keyword, then it is not changed. Okay, it is done. That's it. It is a constant value. Okay, so that is that. For that purpose, we need to use the var. Okay, so I think now you're familiar with the concepts, right? If you don't understand the code, I say that is very good. Okay, because JavaScript is a much more deeper. Okay, so if you don't understand the code, that is very good, but you need to understand where we are using JavaScript. That is fine for us. Okay, so this is all about JavaScript introduction. I just even the entire version, I just put a simple drop. Okay, so that is what I did. Okay, personally. Okay, so don't consider like you in JavaScript, that is very bad. Okay, so that's all for us. Okay, so and one more announcement from us, one more announcement from the team of DWD, that we are conducting, like, this is just a 3 hours of boot camp. This is just going to show you like it's going to show you like how to pick career towards web development, right? Okay, so it gives some motivation and it gives, okay, so that is for this. Okay, so and we have our paid bootcamp section. So in that bootcamp, that is for 2 months. Okay, so that is for 2 months, and you can apply for those bootcamps. And what is the specialty about this bootcamp is, we are not going to give a recorded video. We are not going to something provide like so courses out there, some pre-recorded video in 2017, and we are studying now. We are not going to do that. We're going to teach each and every concept in the live itself, not in YouTube, for personally. Okay, we're going to conduct who all are the persons enrolled for this bootcamp. We can conduct a personal Zoom meet call for them for every Saturday, 6:30 to 10:30. It is for working professional too. If you are a working professional, you can also able to work. You can able to attend this boot camp. It is going to be a paid boot camp. It is not a free boot camp, because we are spending percent for that too. If you are completing all the assignments and all assignments, job guarantee for that too. And I just share the information about the boot camp. If you are interested, you can just go through it. Okay, so wait a minute. I ask like my team to send the information. Okay, okay, just a minute. Okay, and also I think you done with first attendance, and second attendance also completed, right? I think you are completed. So I just wait for a few minutes. I will just give you the bootcamp link, and also for the attendance link for you too. Okay, so the bootcamp is going to be a paid bootcamp. Okay, so the bootcamp is going to be the paid bootcamp. I think whether it is displaying here or not. Okay, so we will conduct you a class for 6:30 to 10:30 every Saturday. We will cover you everything. And also, if you have any doubts, every Wednesday, every Saturday, we cover a topic in live, that is going to be personally in Zoom, and every Wednesday we clear your doubt. One-to-one doubt clearing session is also there. Okay, so second attendance is not showing. Mark your attendance here. Wait a minute. It is not showing. Yeah, now it will be showing. Okay, any participation certificate for this? Yes, of course. If you filled all the two forms in the attendance, mean you get the participation certificate too. Okay, so just wait a minute. I will I will inform my team to share the bootcamp links too. They will share the bootcamp links. And as I told that you have personal doubt clearings. You have personal doubt clearing sections too. And if you want a personal doubt clearing section, and if you want a job, okay, so I promise you that you cannot learn the bootcamp. You cannot learn the entire full stack development within 2 months, but it is possible to learn everything with a proper guidance, because people started to focus on something unwanted topics and they cover that. Okay, so if you wanted to know what the exact topic you want to learn and want a personal guidance, want to one-to-one doubt solving, and if you want even after 2 months of completing the bootcamp, if you want a person to guide you, you can choose this bootcamp, and this is going to be an amazing bootcamp. And this is for only for limited seats, 10 persons. Only 10 seats is available. If you are following our channel, we are promoting it from the very last month itself. Okay, only 10 seats is available. After that, this bootcamp is going to be closed. And also we are having a physical bootcamp too. If you are not want any, if you don't want any bootcamp to be in online, if you want to be in offline, the people in Maharashtra, Bhopal, we have an office. And if you are near to that, if you can come and learn, you can come and learn. 10 physical seats is also available, and 10 online bootcamp is also available. Okay, so this bootcamp is going to start at August first week Saturday, okay, till the September last week Saturday itself. Okay, so we're going to cover everything, and entire full stack, entire Marin stack development is going to cover. You're going to learn about HTML, you're going to learn about CSS deeply, not like this. Okay, so this gives an idea, but deeply is different. And you're going to cover JavaScript, where I'm going to take the JavaScript for you from the top to bottom. And React.js, very important. If you have this framework in your resume, then you will surely get your job. So React.js. So React.js is going to taken by our TWD founder, Nabidu Biswa sir. I hope that he will start our section in HTML. And you hear that, you just see him, his previous works. He has 16 years of excellent experience in IT industry. He is going to teach you the doubt clearing section, and also the this React.js, and also the backend part. Okay, so 60 years of experience today is going to take everything. Okay, and he will guide you personally. And if you want that bootcamp, don't miss this, because if you want a bootcamp, after some while time, you need to wait for another 2 months, because we just done with all paid members. After completing all the work, then only we launch the next bootcamp classes. Okay, so you need to wait for that is the challenge, because I'm getting name of the office, sir. So if you want to, so TW, the web development is the office name. If you want the physical seats, how to book the physical seats, contact Nabidu Biswa sir. Okay, so contact Nabidu Biswa sir in his LinkedIn, or contact me, or contact, if you have any doubts, contact in the WhatsApp group. If you are, I think most of them coming from the WhatsApp group, right? So contact in the WhatsApp group, or which group you are associated with the TWD, you just call that, or you can contact us in LinkedIn. We will help you there. Okay, for physical seats. And also for online, it's going to be everything, and it's going to be a Marin stack bootcamp, everything. Full stack, whatever you want, every topmost technologies, whatever you want, everything is going to be covered. And React, Node.js, Express, MySQL, MongoDB, everything, including the databases, and everything is going to be covered with live. That is very important. With live classes, with live doubt clearing, with live teaching, everything is going to be live. Nothing is pre-recorded. And if you want and resources to learn, that is also we will provide. Okay, we will be there after completing the 2 months. Also, we will be there to help you. Okay, if you are really interested, you can go for that. That's all. And for this workshop, 3 hours of workshop, if you want a participation certificate, just fill all the 2 forms, all the 2 attendance forms. Those people who filled all the 2 attendance form, they only get this participation certificate. Okay, and you need to wait for 2 days. Maybe just wait for till Monday. Okay, at the end of Monday you will get your attendance sheet through your email, and you will get a post in our LinkedIn too. You will we will display, or we will tag you in the LinkedIn too. Okay, so we will show you. Okay, and from my side, this is the last promotion in our channel for this bootcamp. Okay, so I'm doing that. I'm glad for that. Okay, so if you want that bootcamp, just go for it. Oh, don't wait for nothing. Okay, so it's going to be a valuably worth it, and we will give you and placement like job guarantee too when you complete all the assignment. Okay, so instead of coming for the live classes, you don't do any assignment, means there is no use in that. If you completed all the assignment, we will be helpful to complete all your assignment. If you give interest and if you complete all the assignment, then you will surely get your job. Okay, so if your career guidance is done by 16 years experience or mentor, happy to discuss that. Okay, and I am once again thank you for all the attendees here, and also once again thank you for my founder who's organized this wonderful workshop for this beginner level development. Okay, so if you have any doubts, you can ask. I will going to end this section within 2 minutes, and if you have any doubt, you can ask now, and we can go for that. Okay, so we can wait for that and you can ask. Okay, so I just want to ask one question from comments. I can be full stack developer. I like hiring mostly tech field companies hiring first. Can you please describe little so 2 minutes? Okay, so first of all, right now you fill 2 unknowns form, it is also fine, you can fill that. Okay, and Ganesh Tiwari is like, where is the office? The office is in Bhopal, Maharashtra, and for physical office you need to contact like Nabidu Biswas sir, or contact us through WhatsApp. We will guide you. And you ask that, just want to ask one question. I am from commerce. Okay, so you're from a commerce group and you want to be a full stack developer, right? So can I tell you a story like I am from a science group. I'm not a guy that who comes from a tech group. Okay, so I'm from a science group and I'm working as a full stack developer, and I'm tutoring even for like I'm also working in a previous company. I created the entire course for full stack development. Okay, so the degree is not at all matter. If you have the right skill and right guidance to take you up, then the degree is not that much matter. You can surely get the job. Okay, so that is like hiring opportunity, mostly tech field companies hiring first. Can you so most of the companies nowadays they don't look for the freshers. Okay, so even I will tell you, we will conduct a corporate training too. So in that corporate training, so the graduates from the IT field, engineering field related to them comes. Okay, so they go, and for them we teach them the development and all. Okay, so but we are not from I'm not from a tech background. Okay, so the background is not important, the interest is actually important. Okay, so if you have really interested, then you can surely go for that. And that's what I say, like if you have interest, if you have passion, then we will here to guide you, and we will give an assurance for you. If you complete all the assignment, we will surely help you to get the job and all. Okay, so and you will land your dream job, internships, and so on. So things, so getting tech jobs is much more easier in remote also. Okay, so that's more easier. That's why we can able to give this confident announcement. Okay, so I think Ganesh Tiwari, like your doubt is cleared, right? And Romano, like, so fill this 2 form. Okay, if you filled only 1 form, you will not get the participation certificate. Okay, so don't ask, because that's how the system works. If you filled all the 2 forms, that's fine. Okay, even at the last, right now, just go for the live chat. I just wait for 2 more again minute. Okay, so if you're scroll down the live chat, you can see the previous attendance form also. You can just fill it now. Okay, and if you have any queries related to these paid bootcamps and all, you can ask us personally in our WhatsApp group, and you can contact me. You can contact Mausam Sal, who taken CSS before, and you can contact our founder too, and he will help, and we are here to help you. Okay, so we can do that. Okay, so any more doubts? Any more doubts is there? Okay, thank you. Thanks. Fine. Okay, just 1 more minute, we will wind up the section. So I just give host thanks all. Okay, thank you guys, that's it. We will see you in the paid bootcamp section after, and we will done that. Okay, so bye guys.